Stefan Gulas is 37 years old, is married, and has 3 kids. The Austrian, who now lives in Berlin, had an idea to create a bicycle that performed like a motorcycle. He wanted it to be fast and environmentally friendly, a one-of-a-kind form of transportation. Stefan Gulas calls his e-rocket a hybrid of man, machine, and motorcycle. What he means becomes clear when you take a closer look at just how this vehicle works. The person pedals the bike, which in turn drives a generator. That charges the batteries that are inside. The batteries send a signal to the motor control unit, he says, which increases or decreases the power fed to the motor. In other words, there's no mechanical connection between the pedals and the rear wheel. It's all electronic. The new idea, which Gulas hopes will revolutionize movement through traffic, cost him 4 years of meticulous work. But it has finally paid off. The designer's dream has become reality. Stefan calls himself a passionate cyclist who has long fantasized about building a bike that could pass cars in traffic. He has never liked it that cars, with their smelly exhaust, are always able to pass bicycles. Now he says he wants to turn that around. With the e-rocket's 12 horsepower and a top speed of 80 kilometers per hour, that should no longer pose a problem. The 110-kilogram wonder is already proving an eye-catcher on the streets of Berlin. This man thinks it's a great idea and hopes that the e-rocket will catch on among a broad spectrum of the population. He thinks that it could revolutionize traffic as we know it. With Stefan Gulas's new invention, the concept of mobility has entered a new dimension. He believes the e-rocket has characteristics that were until now regarded as extremely difficult to combine. On the one hand, it has an electric drive system and is environmentally friendly. On the other, it's fun to drive and has real appeal. Sexy and ecologically minded through the chaos of the city. What more do you need? This man is impressed with the sharp appearance of the bike and that it requires no gas. 80 kilometers an hour is more than sufficient to tackle city traffic. So could the e-rocket be the two-wheeled wonder of the future? She thinks it would at least provide a great alternative to motorcycles. If you can afford it. At the moment, the e-rocket will run you about 30,000 euros. The inventor says there are 2 reasons for the initial high cost. First, the materials. For example, the high-performance batteries were particularly expensive because they haven't yet been mass-produced. That drives up the per-unit cost. Secondly, he is producing a limited series edition of 10 bikes for release next year, all of them made by hand. If you want one of those, you're going to pay a lot more for one than is produced in large numbers. Bicycles, mopeds, and motorcycles. To the list of two-wheel transportation options, you can now add the e-rocket. This man doesn't believe that this invention will render the bicycle and motorcycle obsolete. On the contrary, he thinks that some cyclists and motorcycle fans may not want an e-rocket at all. Only time will tell if there is a market for this superbike. Future owners may not come from the ranks of either die-hard Harley-Davidson fans or from among bicycle fanatics. But if you want a really new way to get around the city, this hybrid bike has a lot to offer.
This year, Volkswagen's new Beetle is celebrating its 10th birthday, and the Sunshine Tour is also marking an anniversary. It's the 5th time new Beetle fans have gotten together for their big party on the Baltic. Fans of the modern cult vehicle come from all over Europe to share their joy and join in the revelry of the Sunshine Tour. The convoy starts in Lübeck. This time, almost 300 Beetles are travelling bumper to bumper towards Grömitz, making it the longest line of VW bugs worldwide. The meet isn't organised by Volkswagen, but by Gabriele Kraft of Lübeck, whatever gave her the idea. She says it was quite simple, because at some point she fell in love with the car, and the idea came to her that she couldn't be alone, and could meet others and exchange their feelings and have a look at what kind of other Beetles people were driving. Since new Beetle drivers are often creative thinkers, the party is anything but drab. They shape and style their cars the way their spirits move them.
You're the one girl in town I'd marry. Girl I'd marry you now if I were free.
Wir sprechen einen Leute an, die man...
Kerstin Pudens says here, people you don't even know talk to you, but right away you're having a genuine, heartfelt talk, and it's just really nice. She says she finds it good that at this event it's not a matter of whose car is closest to the road, or has the widest wheels, or goes fastest, or is loudest. Instead, she says, it's about the person who's in the driver's seat.
Es einfach auch die Person geht, die hinterm Lenkrad ist.
Word of the Beetle party has already spread abroad.
Sunshine Tour, it's the biggest meeting of new Beetles, so we decided not to miss this party.
The new Beetle community just keeps on growing. Each year, more and more fans come to the party on the Baltic. Gabriele Kraft says the event started small. In 2004, there were only 66 new Beetle owners who met and drove to Grömitz. As the years went by, that number increased, and since Volkswagen got involved, it's even more fun. You can see it too, she says. These wonderful Beatlemania models that they're exhibiting up here, it grabs your attention. They're great, she says.
Die sind schon sehr aufsehenserregend, also sie sind richtig toll.
The Beatlemania models were created when the new Beetle made its European premiere a decade ago at the Paris Motor Show. Normally, they're at the Volkswagen Auto Museum in Wolfsburg, but the carmaker has rolled out these colourful models for Beetle fans, marking this special occasion in Grömitz. Volkswagen's Christian Buhlmann says this was really a windfall for the company. Other manufacturers have to spend lots of money organising tours and rallies in order to make their cars better known. And for the car maker, it was the other way around. Customers who own this car here in Germany got together on the internet. He adds, Volkswagen only got involved later and discovered that customers have a great party here every year, so they said, let's join in.
Und da haben wir gesagt, da möchten wir gerne mitfeiern.
And occasionally, there's a real pearl that pops up between the conventional models. This is the Beetle with more horsepower than any other. Only 250 units of the RSI were built. It's got a rear spoiler and big air intakes, and was only available as a hardtop. But there's always an exception. And it's this model, the RSI convertible, made experimentally and only one time by Volkswagen. Jakob Kehler says the special thing about this RSI is that it's a ragtop. It was only available as a two-door sedan, and the carmaker put an R32 engine in this experimental model, like the one in a Golf R32. That's 320 cc's. He says it's a six-cylinder engine with 241 horsepower. But the speedy, sporty convertible rocket sled never went into series production. This souped-up model has seats that are usually found in an Audi RS4, and it came all the way from England to Grömitz.
It's a long journey for us, but this year, because it's the 10th anniversary of the new Beetle, and we've loved the new Beetle from the very start, we just had to come. So here we are.
And in Scandinavia, the Beetle has even put a smile on the faces of normally dour northerners.
When you meet a Beetle, you often smile at each other, and when people smile at this car when I drive it too, so it's kind of a happy car.
In the coming years, the colourful party is bound to continue. The new Beetle community will return to the Baltic, but not just for round number birthdays.